I shot a video for Frank at the studio. I was doing like an EPK package, like electronic press kit, and we were going to do an interview there. So first time in the studio, I walk in, and it sounds great. I mean, it's really equipped well. I mean, it's great space, but it looks like hell, dude. I mean, it's just not photogenic. Like sometimes you go into studios and it's like sort of like dark wood, and they got curtains and chandeliers, and no, it's just like white, and it's got these big scenes, but it sounds amazing in there.
Mm-hmm. That's like Sound City in California. You know where that is?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, they did a whole documentary on it on YouTube. I think Dave Grohl.
Was that the Dave Grohl guy?
Yeah, spearheads the whole thing. And it's just a shithole in there, man. But a lot of magic happened.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, who cares what it looks like, right?
Mm-hmm.
It sounds great. But I guess now people recording, you want it to look nice. So I went in there. I brought like lights in, black drape, and I mean, color. I mean, it looked really good. So if you go back to see Frank's EPK, I did this. Oh, my God.
He's like a big deal in Connecticut, isn't he?
He's a pretty big deal, yeah. He works hard to promote, and he's a good musician. You know, He came here. He actually played for my ribbon cutting. I had a ribbon cutting here, and I wanted some music or something, so I reached out to, I think his buddy, his booking agent at the time, because I was like, I don't know if he wants to come and just like, hang out and play guitar for some like business, guys that come in here and like drink beer and stuff, and well, that's what he does anyway, drink beer. But anyway, so no, he called me up and said, absolutely, dude, I'll be there. So yeah, I've done some work with them, a couple videos and live stuff, which we should do. That'd be cool.
Yeah, man.
That'd be a blast.
Always up to play, so.
Yeah, come in and just me and a camera, and we come in and just shoot some whatever, single camera, just get some footage and blast it out. It's a lot of fun. So what you've been up to?
We've been playing a whole lot, so like ridiculously a whole lot, and I'm thankful for it. Summertime, it's our busy season, and we're like 3 or 4 shows a week.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow.
My voice hates me by the end of it, but my bank account doesn't, so
yeah.
Works out.
Nice. That's awesome. So I know you play. I saw you at Softail in Durham, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago, whatever. Amazing show. Like the first set. So, Southern rock, I love it. You call it like rebel rock, Southern rock mixed with like today's sort of country kind of rock stuff. So you started out playing some Skynyrd, and I'm like, oh, we play some Skynyrd. And then you play another Skynyrd tune, and you play another. I'm like, this is freaking great, dude. It was good. It was like a really cool Skynyrd set. It was awesome. I had a blast. Then you dumped in some Allman Brothers, all sorts of things, and I have some great originals, which I love.
Thanks,
yeah, that was a great show. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So I definitely have to go back. So are all your shows like that? I was looking at your calendar. You do some acoustic work?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so some shows will be acoustic, just me. A lot of those are Thursdays up at the Dublin in East Hampton. Dave's a great guy. Nowhere else. I mean, I'm playing at other breweries and stuff like that too. And then we do some duo work and trio work. This Sunday we're playing in New London.
Nice.
You ever been to City Dock down there?
No.
The Oyster Bar?
No, I don't get up
That's
there much.
a cool spot.
Okay.
Dude.
When are you playing there?
Oh, this Sunday at 2.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 o'clock.
Oh, it's going to be nice on Sunday, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, bro.
All right. Oysters. They got oysters up there? Oh, I think I might be in.
All kinds of seafood.
Nice.
So
Nice. Right on.
yeah, right on the water too.
Yeah. So I heard somewhere, I don't know if when we first started, we met each other and we did a little work together. I was reading some social media stuff, trying to figure out, who you are and all this kind of stuff. And you used to dabble in not what you're playing now.
Yeah, I used to be an angsty teenager.
Okay. Why did what was the change? What were you doing, and what influenced the change?
Well, kind of grew out of it. I mean, when you're, in your late teens and early 20s, that's like the best thing since sliced bread, and you're mad at the world, think you know everything, and then you grow up, you're like, I don't know anything, so but I'd grown up on Skynyrd. I mean, since I was like shorter than this table, like I was singing Freebird, and as I got further into my music career, I just decided it was time. And playing, nothing against punk rock, I still love it to this day, but that's a tough genre to sing. Like we were doing 45 minutes to an hour set, and my voice was done by the end of it. So, I mean, compare that to doing 4-hour shows like we do now with country stuff. I mean, I'd be silent by the end of it.
4-hour shows.
So, I mean, I'd thought about it for a while, and, it was just time.
Yeah.
So
Well, I made the right move.
Yeah.
I think it's good. Yeah, that show at Softail was long. I mean, you're playing some long sets. Yeah, I said I couldn't stay. I had to go, but yeah, you played some long sets, and your band's great.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Your bass player in particular. I mean, your whole band's great, but I like watching him play. He's just like he's a great bass player because I love the bass. It's like kind of like a John Entwistle type, where they just stand,
Mm-hmm.
they just play. It's terrific. Yeah,
He makes a lot of facial expressions too.
yeah.
He's like when he's playing,
That's
bass
awesome.
face.
So you do you do the circuit of different clubs and stuff like that, and then what if you do parties and things like that? So people hire you out private parties.
Yeah, so our first year in business, or was our no, I think it was our second year. We did one huge party, but this year we've got like a lot more. We just did one in North Haven, and that was awesome. They roasted 2 pigs, had the whole thing catered. They went all out, like bikers everywhere, which is awesome. So.
I got to get you. You got to meet my possibly maybe soon to be son-in-law. They're engaged.
Ooh.
Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be a long engagement. I've already been informed, but they're engaged. They're officially engaged. They're up in Terryville, and he just turned 30, Tyler, and they had a pig roast. So I was hanging out, and I'm like, it's very Southern rock. Cowboy boots, jean jackets, the whole bit, beard, baseball cap. So I look out. I was talking to my daughter in the kitchen. I look out and you see the backyard, and I was like, everybody looks exactly the same. But there's a couple people I didn't recognize, and so the story goes, one of the guys, I was like, there's something up with this dude. So he was the guy who brought the pig up from Florida. So what he does, him and his team, I guess they go out and he has dogs, and he surrounds the pig. The dogs surround the pig. Then he goes in with a knife, and he stabs the pig in the neck. And gets the pig.
Damn.
Yeah, that's how he did. And then they brought it up to Connecticut and smoked it, and it was good, dude. It was like Bear's Smokehouse type theme, right? It was just that, and they had some potato salad and all that kind of stuff, dude. It was so good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what these guys did. They had these huge like pig smokers, and it was actually funny. I'll tell you a funny story. So we're playing, and they pulled the first pig out, and they got this long white plastic table. And we're playing, I just happened to look over, and the guy takes this big-ass meat cleaver and just whacks the head off the pig. And I was like, I'm not going to mess with that, dude. We're just playing. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty, this guy, I was like, different, a little bit different world than growing up here in Connecticut on the shoreline. But it was good stuff. So they have a good time. They got 2 kids, and we go up there, and they I think they would love your show. So I got to get them to one of your shows.
Yeah, man, we'll play for them.
I think they'd have a blast. And my daughter's turning 30 August. She's not really happy about it, but that's all right.
Just a number, bro.
Yeah, it's just a number. Yeah.
Until love music, you'll stay young forever.
Until you're that number. But that's all right. I'm way beyond it. Doesn't matter anymore. Right? What else you got going on? So what do? You play a lot. You must practice a lot. Sort of, do you go home, listen to music, and you always got the turntable on or something? What do you listen to normally? What sort of inspires you? Is it different every day?
Well, I mean, a lot of it's country and southern rock music. I mean, what inspires me the most is it's one record in particular. So you know who Dierks Bentley is?
Mm-mm.
All right, well, he's a country singer, and he put a record out. I'm not sure how many years ago, but it's called Up on the Ridge, and it's a bluegrass record. And that, I don't know, for whatever reason, it just gets those gears turning and inspires me. So I'll listen to that a lot. Listen to Skynyrd's like first couple of records. Eat a Peach, that record I love. I have an original pressing from '72.
Yeah. All right. Well, I showed this to you earlier. Right. So I told you this was the '90s. You said Eat a Peach. So I got to show everybody this. Yeah, 1990s, Allman Brothers. Eat a Peach for Peace. Love this shirt. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, that's all right. That's a fantastic shirt, man. And that's an even better record, too. I mean,
it's a great record.
Hearing it on vinyl, nothing beats it, man. Hearing Blue Sky.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Big Allman Brothers fan. I was in college upstate New York, and probably a little like you. I was listening to a lot of Led Zeppelin through high school, that kind of stuff. No punk rock, but it was the 80s. So this, The Cure and all that kind of stuff was out, but I was Led Zeppelin and The Who and that kind of stuff. So I'm hanging out, and this music comes on, and it was the Allman Brothers. I'm like, who's this? Like the Allman Brothers. And there was a big Allman Brothers fan. He was from down south. And ever since then, I'm just like hooked, dude. Just hooked. I don't know how many shows.
Well, it's so hard not to be.
Yeah.
You know, just the way they wrote. And, you know, I don't know who said it, but they said that Greg Allman is like the best white blues singer of all time. And I agree with it.
Yeah.
Because you can't match that tone
No.
and the way he sang, dude.
No.
One of a kind.
Yeah, definitely one of a kind. Yeah. Who's left? It's just J-Mo's
It's just
left.
J-Mo, man.
J-Mo's left. Yeah. I met him.
No way, where?
Whole Foods in West Hartford.
Oh, well, yeah, he lives out here, right?
He lives in he said his wife lives in Bloomfield with his wife's family's in Bloomfield or something like that, in that area. Mm-hmm. So I had to go to Whole Foods right there. So I go in, and if you've ever been to Whole Foods, you know, opens up, and well, this one anyway opens up right into the produce section.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I go in, and it must have been like summertime or something. I don't remember. But there's the berry. They have a big table of berries and everything. And I look, and there's this dude on the other side. Mm-hmm. He's like going through berries. So I'm like, no, like that's not.
There's no way that's
There's
J-Mo.
no way.
You know?
So I'm like, I look at him, I was like, oh, it's J-Mo. So like, I go around. I was like, J-Mo. He's like, where?
He was probably like, not again.
So we chatted for a bit. He was like, he's walking. I'm like, you know, like a little puppy. I'm following him, asking him, just inane, like nothing of any substance. Just, you know, I'm like starstruck, blown away. So anyway, I said thanks very much for chatting, blah blah blah, and he took off. But that was super cool. Yeah, that was
of all
cool.
places, Whole Foods.
Of all places, Whole Foods. I did meet him, but he was playing a show. It was like a meet and greet thing. He was playing a show at this place in Collinsville. He was with his jazz band.
Is that in Connecticut?
Yeah, up in Collinsville. It's part of. It's near Canton.
Oh, okay.
Way
out there.
Simsbury, kind of sort of in that area. There's a little like a little music venue. They kind of cater towards jazz. That kind. It's like a lounge, you know, that kind of stuff. So he had his little jazz band out there. So after the show, he go over shake. So that was cool. But that wasn't like walking into Whole Foods and seeing him, you know, grocery shopping. It was pretty wild. Yeah,
J-Mo, man,
J-Mo. Yeah, so that was cool. That was a treat. But that's it. I don't think I've ever met any other musicians. You know,
man, I can't believe Dickie passed this year, dude.
Ugh, that hurt.
Yeah,
I wanted to see him. I've never seen him, you know, solo. Yeah, with his band.
Yeah, I was booking gigs, and I got the alert on my phone. I was like, no.
It's awful.
Because I'm just now really getting into Dickie's playing and trying to really study him. And then when I saw that, I was like, bro, really?
Yeah. Phenomenal guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Well, at least we have his son now.
Yeah.
Who, I mean, he looks like him.
Yeah.
And I saw a clip of him playing. I think they were playing Franklin. You know that song, Franklin's Tower?
Yeah.
Roll away the dude. You know?
Yeah.
They're playing that, and his mannerisms are just like Dickie, so.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I think they're coming around. They're going to be in Terryville, New York or something coming up, the Allman Betts band.
Mm-hmm.
I've never really listened to them. I've thrown on a couple songs here and there, but I don't know too much about them. I should take some time and really listen. It'd be kind of cool to go check them out.
Yeah.
Something good. You listen to them?
I've never listened to them before, but the clips I've seen, I mean, Dwayne's like, he's right up there with Dickie, dude.
Yeah. All right.
He's really good. His tone is like almost, you know, matching.
So I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah.
Speaking of kids, Trucks, that was his first name. Derek, no.
Butch, right?
No.
Butch is the drummer.
His son. No, his son.
Yeah, Derek.
Derek is Derek Trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's killer.
What a slide player, dude.
Yeah.
Incredible. Saw a video of the Allman Brothers, right? They were at the Beacon Theater in 2003, and Derek was playing slide with him.
Yeah.
Bro.
Killer.
And when you play slide, it's like you got to focus because it's so easy to go flat or sharp.
Mm-hmm.
But he was like, you know, like Dwayne Allman. I mean, never was sharp or flat, always on.
It's amazing. You play slide? You played slide, right?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I want to get better at it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I can see that because there's no like, what's that?
I like to pretend that I can, you know?
Pretend. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I don't play guitar. I bought a guitar when I was like college. There's probably like another 1,000 kids that are in college. And I played for a little bit, and it just, life changed, and I don't play anymore. But I could see, I mean, I just had a hard time just finding notes, like with my fingers and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I can imagine with the slide, it's always moving.
Yeah, it's a whole new world because you can't bend the string. Like, because when you're picking it, you can bend the string, but when you play slide and you're thinking of, okay, well, if I bend the string, what does it sound like? But you have to mimic that with the slide. And when you're picking the note, your finger gets as close to the fret as possible. But when you're playing slide, it has to be right on top of it.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to switch your thinking a little bit. So
yeah. Yeah, but
focus.
I love watching guitar players because it's still, I'm still in awe when chords are one thing, but when you get into picking, you know, whether it be with a pick or with your fingers, and then especially with a pick, to be able to hit each string. It sounds stupid, I guess, maybe, I don't know, but to hit each string and not, because I tried, I can't. It's
a lot of focus, and I mean, especially when like live when we played, a lot of our solos are improvised.
Yeah.
So your brain always has to be one step ahead of your fingers, and that's a lot of focus, especially when there's a bunch of people and you're trying to, like, you know, show off and have a good time.
Yeah.
You're like, well, if I'm here, but I need to be here, like, you just constantly thinking.
Well, I could imagine it just becomes, I mean, obviously it's practice, right? And you always have to focus. You can't just sort of, but it becomes almost second nature. It becomes a part of you. You know, you should just know the instrument so well, you know exactly where your fingers need to be to get that tone or whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, it takes time. I mean, I'm 16 years into playing guitar, and I learn something new every day.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
You get a little better each day. You got to keep going.
You play anything else?
Well, like instruments?
Yeah.
I play banjo, bass, a little bit of guitar, a little mandolin.
Nice.
I want to learn how to play piano.
That'd be cool.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good to play piano. So when you write a song, is it like, how does that work? You come up with like a riff? Are you driving down the road and something pops into your head? Do you really have to sit down and focus about where's the inspiration? Is it like life events? Is it just sort of is it all the above? How does that all happen?
It's a mixture of everything. And it's kind of funny how songs come along sometimes. There was a story one time, I don't know if it was Jump by Van Halen, but anyway, I think it was Sammy. Could be wrong. Don't come after me, Van Halen fans. But anyway, I think it was Sammy. He jumped out of the shower. He was like, "Get me a pen and paper." And that's how a lot of songs come to me too. I'll be like in the shower or something, or I'll just be sitting somewhere and I'll just get like an idea for a lyric or something. But a lot of the times, starts with chords. Like I'll see a chord progression in my head, and then I'll think about something that I want to write about, and then it kind of just happens naturally from there.
All right. So you don't have a process of like, all right, today I got to write a song. You sit down and you start figuring stuff out. It's more sort of organic.
Yeah, when it comes, it comes.
Yeah, when it comes, it comes.
Yeah. And I have a studio right in my apartment, so that's a real plus, because when a song comes, you need to write it down or record it or something, or else it's just gone. Yeah. So I mean, I've got countless voice memos on my phone of just like, sometimes it's noise, sometimes it's good, but I'm like, I got to get this down or I'll forget it. So
yeah. Well, I've done that with business ideas or video ideas or something, and I'll write it down. Yeah, like on my phone or somewhere in notes or something. And you write it down, but then I forget I even wrote it down. So I'll be like, every once in a while, I don't know, maybe twice a year, I'll just kind of go through old notes and stuff, and I'm going to see what's out there, and I'm like, oh, I remember writing that. Damn, that was a good idea. Too late now, but that was a good idea.
Yeah, I did that the other day. I was listening to voice memos and stuff, and I was like, that's a good song, man. Just do something with that.
Yeah. That's right. At least we're writing it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to. You forget it.
You have to.
And then once it's gone, you're kicking yourself. You're like, man.
Yeah.
So.
I have done, though, like, written stuff down. Like, at one night, I go to bed, I wake up, I was like, oh, that was a great, what was that idea? And I go and I'll look it up and I'll read it the next morning. I'm like, yeah, no, that's no good. That's a terrible idea. What was I thinking?
Oh, yeah. That'll be me, like, when I hit the bong and I'm like, this would be a great song. And then I listen to it and I'm like, what were you thinking, bro? Like, you're not even in tune. Get it together.
Yeah. That's no good. Yeah, that's no good. That's funny stuff.
At least I tried.
Yeah. That's it. Just keep moving forward. So what about your band? Tell me about your band. I did a little research today. I was checking out your drummer. It's like your bass player in particular. Is, all you guys are experienced, but it seems like, I mean, he had a slew of different bands and things he's done. You got your drummer, and your guitar player who's also an artist. No, just very dark art. It's very color-wise.
Yeah. Yeah, so he just did, is exhibit the right word for that? Like when you do a bunch of we'll call it an art show. He did one. It was called Light Inside the Darkness, and I think that's the one you're referring to.
Maybe that's what I was looking at.
Yeah. And I actually have one of those paintings on my wall.
Nice.
He very graciously gifted it to me.
That's cool.
But he's incredible, man.
Yeah, I'd like
his
to see
apartment. So he lives in this art building in Hartford. So his apartment, it's long, and the ceilings are like a mile high, and that's no joke. Like they just go on forever, you know. So, but he's just got paintings everywhere, and he's got a self-portrait in there that's crazy.
I gotta check that out. Yeah, I didn't scan. I just clicked, and I quickly scrolled through. Interesting works. That must have been a series he was working on. Yeah, good stuff.
He's incredible, dude.
Yeah, that's cool.
And he's a stonemason too, so like that's his day job. And he'll create these patios and stone walls, and I'm like, how do you do that, man? Because I'm a wimp. I with the heat sometimes I can't take it. I'd be 5 minutes in and be like, I quit. Let's go.
I'm done. One of my kids did. I think it was my son. Now he's not. He worked. I forget which son it was. They both work really hard, but they try that. They like called up a landscape looking for work, and they were one day on the job like, yeah, I'm done with that.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that. I can't do that every day.
It's tough.
It's hard work, man. It's not easy. Yeah, it's not easy.
I don't know how he does it, but
I know it's tough work. Yeah, stonemasons. Well, that's also a dying trade, you know.
Oh, is
masons,
it really?
And I think, the way it used to be. I guess there's some folks still do it, but I don't think that as many people do it as they used to. I could be wrong. I have no idea.
Well, hopefully the band takes off so we can keep his rent.
Yeah, well, that's right. We were talking about. I asked you sort of what you do for a day job, and you're like, you know,
yeah, I'm lucky enough
delivery,
to call
but
this
is
my
it.
job.
This is awesome. You don't hear that from a local musician.
Yeah,
too often. That's amazing. You'd be able to support yourself and you know, do what you need to do and play music that you love. I think that's
Well, you got to eat, breathe, and sleep it. You know, like I don't give myself days off, like rarely ever.
Yeah.
You know, like if my eyes are open, I'm trying to book a gig or I'm learning a song.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not playing a gig, you're getting ready to play the next one. So,
how does that work, right? Because now part of it's a business, right? Because now you're essentially trying to run a business, right? Because you're talking to venues, you know, the rates and all that kind of stuff, right? And you got to, you know, transportation. I guess there's costs involved. I don't know how all that works. I don't know if you have a van, everybody shows up. Doesn't really matter. Does that interfere with like? Is that frustrating to sort of have that part of it, and whether, you know, the guy's not willing to pay what you need, or maybe the gig guy can't, or however it works, and then now you got to go be an artist, right? Is there like a contradiction there between doing the business part of it, or the business part of it isn't that in-depth?
So I'm established as a small business. When I first got the LLC put together, I didn't know anything about business at all. So like my first year in business, I ended up paying a lot in taxes, but I'm getting better at it every year. But you kind of got to learn to love it, you know, because like you go out, you play the gig, you get paid, thankfully. But you can't have one without the other.
Sure.
You know, because, you know, as you get older, you need to get loans for things like a car or, you know, like, and when I got my apartment and I told them, oh, I'm a musician, they're like, well, show us that. You know, so I had to thankfully I had everything written down, and that's where being an LLC is kind of a good thing, because you can be like, yeah, this is a real job, because you talk to some people, they're like, well, that's not a real job. You're like, well, actually it is. You show them the paperwork, like I made this much this month, and so, like I said, you got to learn to love it.
So that's smart. So what's the name of the LLC?
Oh, Mick Louis LLC.
Mick Louis LLC.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know you had that. That's awesome. That's good. When'd you do that?
2 years ago.
All right. Oh, smart.
I did it like right around when we started the band.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. What'd you do before? How long have you been just doing music then?
About 3 years.
Okay, wow. Right on. Yeah, what was your day job before then?
I had various ones. Like when I first started the LLC and we were getting serious with the band, I was selling auto parts. I was a salesman.
Okay.
Then I left that job. And then, from there, like, it was just straight music. And then things got a little slow, so I got another day job. But then as soon as it started to pick back up, I left that and just went, straight with music again.
Are you like, I'm going to assume, although I shouldn't, that you have aspirations to branch out, right? And like, what's your ultimate, like, where do you want to be? Where do you want to be in 5 years? You know, where's your, because you play, you know, you played Skynyrd and Allmans, but you do have a lot of original music. You know, you put out, did you put out a full album or is it an EP?
Full album.
It was a full album. So obviously you want to expand that part of it. Is that coming? I mean, do you have more albums on the horizon? You have
I'm working on an
tour
EP
dates?
right now called
Yeah.
Get Happy.
okay.
So, because, like, I've been listening to the radio, and I do Spotify a lot, and a lot of the stuff that's hopping right now, it's, like, sad stuff. And I'm like, man, where's the feel-good songs,
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to create right now.
Yeah.
But, I mean, as far as, like, my 5-year, 10-year plan, everybody gets asked, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Sure.
And they're like, oh, I want to be a fireman or this. But, I mean, my answer to that is I just want to be happy, dude.
Yeah.
If I can pay my bills and just, breathe and smile every day, that's all I want.
Love it.
Because you never know when it could be over.
Yeah.
You can work your whole life away, reach 60 or whatever age you get lucky enough to reach, and first day of retirement, and you're dead.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, that happens to a lot of people. They retire and they get sick, and then that's it, and it's over, and then you don't.
Yeah.
You worked all this time, and I don't know why that. My dad's still alive. He's alive and kicking, but he retired. Oh my God, 20 plus years ago, and he never missed a day of work for being sick. I don't think he ever missed a day of work. Period.
My dad was like that too.
He was a teacher in Stanford school system, and like a week after he retired, it was like in bed ill for like days.
Oh wow.
He was so sick. I'm like, his body's just like, all right, we're gonna take a break, But then that was it, and then he gets cold every once in a while. But yeah, no, he's been. But they travel a lot, not so much anymore. But they used to travel a lot, so they stay busy. I think they were busier, not recently, but they were busier like those 20 years than they were like when he was working, because they're always doing stuff.
Yep.
But
he's good now.
well, he's 88, so he's got.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there's some a little bit of dementia and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But physically, he's pretty good for 88. I mean, not too bad. Crazy, he's pushing 90, man. That's nuts.
There you go, dude.
Yeah, and my
One foot in
mom's
front of the other.
My mom's what? She's 85. She's doing well. She's got a lot on her plate because of what's going on with my dad.
Yeah.
But, they're doing okay. Yeah.
Well, good, man.
So it's good. Yeah. How about you? How about your folks? They good?
Well, I mean, they're. God, I sound like a terrible son. I'm trying to think. How old are they?
It took me a while to remember. So.
Yeah, I think my dad. I mean, he's like 66, 67 now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And my mom, I think she's like 62. But they're both good. I mean, my dad's on oxygen because he smoked for the longest time.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's rough.
Hey, you could still walk. You can still do everything. And then my mom, she's retired. She just kind of hangs out at home and drives the ship. But they're good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
They come to shows. They support you in what you're doing, or
well, I mean, my dad, he kind of can't because of the whole oxygen thing.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he's proud.
Yeah.
My mom will come to shows when she can.
Good.
She's still kind of freaked out from the whole COVID thing. So, like, she's been to rally caps a few times. But if it gets too packed, she's like, I'm going to get out of here. She calls them cooties,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but she'll go when she can.
That's good. That's good. That's good. They're supportive. They're not like,
Yeah.
you ever going to get a job or...
Well, my
my
dad's old school. He'll say that sometimes. I'm like, it is a job.
Yeah, it is a job.
I think it's just because he wants me to be successful, which is good.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, what's success, right? So I tell people every once in a while, I tell my kids sometimes too, it's like, and I told Tyler too, who's going through this thing, I was like, you can't always like think about the money, right? Obviously that's a part of it because you need it. And I made the mistake more than once in my life, like going after something because the dollar signs were there. And then you're a couple years in and you're like, you gotta, I'm not saying you have to quit whatever it is you're doing, but you gotta make changes. So so it's important to not just think of the money, but because at the end of the day, like you said, right, you can't take it with you.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, and that's like, circling back to what I said about, the ultimate goal is to just be happy because, money comes and it goes, but you don't get the time back.
Yeah.
You can't wake up and be like, oh, I want to be 22 again. It just doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
And money doesn't make you happy. Some people say,
No.
That it does, but it doesn't.
Yeah. Well, with money comes more problems too.
Yeah, ain't that funny how that works out? The more money you have, you're like...
Bigger problems. Yeah, you get some bigger problems.
Yep.
Yeah. So I like that. Yeah, you just be happy. And somebody asked me that years ago. I was just starting Direct Line Media, so this goes back 10-something years, 11 years. And we worked together. He was a magician doing different stuff. He did like mime magician stuff. Anyway, so we did some videos together, and we're sitting in the car for some reason, hanging out. And he's like, "What do you want to do?" Because he had a day job. He sold medical supplies and did really well. And he's like, what do you want to do? You know, like, I was like, I just want to be a cameraman, you know? And then, but then kind of like you, right? You start this business and it's like, all right, that's why I asked you that question. Do you want to, like, you got the business aspect of it, but you got the creative cameraman part of it. And it's like, how do you create and do both at the same time without sort of one fouling up the other? So it's just a skill you learn, and you learn to enjoy both. You got to really like to do both.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of what it comes down to.
I mean, for me, when I look at the business side of it, like with the business, it's like that. I look at that like, this is how I pay and show my taxes and show that I am, you know, a contributing member of society. You know, like I can go out, play shows, and make music. That's what I want to do. But this over here, this business, it's like, all right, well, if I want to get a house, I need this to do that. Or if I want to get another car, I need this to do that. So I just treat the business as a tool to, you know, keep the music coming, basically.
Do you pay your bandmates through the business? Or is that how that works?
Yep.
Nice. So they're like, is that like a contractor type? Is it like
they're all 1099.
All 1099s. Yeah, right on. And they're cool with that? Obviously they are, right?
Yeah. I mean, so come tax time, I mean, we track literally everything, like guitar picks, strings, gas mileage, anything that you can write off, we do, because you have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially when the more successful you get and the more money you make, the more they're going to tax you.
Yeah.
So you got to be like, you know, I'm out here working, but this is what it's costing me to do so.
Sure.
So, I mean, the better care you take of tracking things, the more it works out for you.
You got an accountant?
I used to. I mean, my first year doing it.
I have a guy. If you need an accountant, he's good.
Yeah, they talk about that. Like, because my first year doing it, like, and nothing against the guy. He's a super cool guy, but I mean, like I gave him all my stuff, and he made my K1, but just what it cost to get the K1 was like ridiculous. And I mean, maybe that's just what it costs to do it. Like I said, no hate to the guy; he's an awesome dude, love him and his family. But I mean, it just got so costly. It's like I can't afford to have that and then pay what I owe on top of it. So now I just do it myself, and I've actually, like, you know, I'm kind of saving money, which is cool. Yeah, you know, doing it the right way. I hope.
Yeah. I got, when I started this, I'm like, I'm not, because I used to do my taxes, and then when I started this business, I was like, yeah, I'm not. And the first guy I hired was ridiculously expensive. Yeah, he did a good job of it, but I'm like, that's where I can't pay that. That's ludicrous. So I found this guy. I've been with him. He's in Southington for a while. He's been terrific. Yeah, so he's been really, really good. Yeah, I think it's because the time I was like, it's one of those things, like, I definitely don't want to do it. And so that's good. I'm proud of you that you're doing it, because I have no desire to do taxes. Yeah,
man. Like I said, you got to learn to love it. Like, when tax time came along, I literally spent an entire day just in front of my computer. Yeah. All these 1099s and paperwork just right there, and just getting all the numbers and punching it. It sucked.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
it's awful.
God bless accountants for doing that for a day job.
Yeah.
You know, like, who wakes up and is like, I want to do that job? Like, not me, but you have to.
No, I put all my stuff in, like, a folder. This thing comes in, I put it in the folder, and then I print out what I need to print out. I put it in this. To him. So the first year I went to him, you set an appointment and you do your taxes together. You get like an hour appointment, and you come in, which I was like, I thought I was just going to send the stuff in and you're going to call me, but no. So we go in and we sit down, and we're having a conversation, like we're talking out the entire hour. We're just talking about family and life and this and that. As we're talking, he's like, this hand's doing, it's like musicians, right? This thing's doing something, this finger's doing the other thing. He's talking to me, he's typing in stuff. He's like, all right, this is what we got. Like, you did all that?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was pretty wild. Yeah.
That's a lot of focus.
That's a lot of focus.
I'd be typing and be like, what'd you say?
Yeah. So, no, I've been with him for a while. Yeah, good dude. Wayne Sadowski. I'll throw it out there. Wayne Sadowski. All right. Good dude. Yeah, man. So check out Wayne. Yeah, he's in Southington.
Yeah. Maybe he'll be the guy I go to for our end of the year.
Yeah, that'd be good. Let's see. What else? What do we talk about? Music you listen to, the LLC. Tell me about Rebel Rock, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, how the industry works today, you got to be different. You know what I mean? There's 1,000,001 country singers. And I mean, even with that, I mean, you listen to 92.5 and, you know, nothing against all that. I love a lot of the stuff that's on there, but a lot of it's just like, you know, pop with an accent, basically. And not that it's bad. It's not. I like it, a lot of it. But, you know, that you could call it country, but you compare that to, traditional country, and it's all about being different. They say that's how you get recognized. You got to be different. So I was like, well, I love Southern rock music and a lot of the stuff from the 70s, but a lot of that, appeals to people that are older than me. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I identify with that group of people more than people my age, but I was like, how do I appeal to both markets? So I'm like, if I can take stuff that sounds like Skynyrd and make it sound like, like a guy like Luke Combs or something, if I could fuse that together, I can appeal to both people. Yeah. So that's how I got Rebel Rock.
I like it. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, 92.5, that's a country station. I don't listen to that station. I don't really listen to radio much anymore. It's all like, well, I'm in between. I used to do a lot of Spotify.
Yeah.
Then I was reading up on like the quality of music, right? How they stream it, and like so apparently Apple has a little bit better bit rate or whatever the hell it is. So I was like, so I started, and also I was paying for both for some reason. Anyway, long story. So I started going, and it's interesting because Spotify, if you listen to it for a while, it'll like give you the suggestions. So you get the suggestion, and then Apple does it differently. I think I almost like Apple Music better for like getting suggestions of what to listen to. But anyway, I don't listen to music much anymore. But those, you put those two together, and you hit like, a discover or whatever, because it just sort of uses whatever it uses to put together like a playlist for you. So it's like listening to the radio. It's not.
Yeah. I think it's better, honestly, because the radio, they'll have like the same 5 or 6 songs on rotation all day.
Yeah.
So you hear the same song like 3 times in an hour. You're like, can I get something different?
Yeah.
I use Spotify a lot. I haven't really used Apple Music, but I want to try.
Yeah, no, I didn't think I was going to like it, but it's a different platform, so you got to figure it out. But I like it. I listen to it a lot now. I think just the different variety. They're throwing out like deeper cuts, right, if you will, than Spotify would. But I remember back when WCCC was around. I don't know if you're familiar with WCCC. It's a Hartford station, so we lived up there. Hartford was like a hard rock station. Now I'm not. There's some hard rock, but some of it was like really heavy stuff, and I couldn't. But their DJs were awesome, because it was like the DJs would talk about just inane stuff, and there was I mean, they had the different shows, but there wasn't like a hard cut off, and they would talk to each other, and then they got bought by Christian rock, so which is fine. I just don't listen to it. But they were blessed. One of the things I like listen to radio is because of the DJs. So that's something I do miss, is listen to a good DJ. There's a radio station, and I got introduced to out of Maine.
Yep.
And every Saturday at 12 o'clock, WERU, they have Reggae Reprieve. So I stream it.
Oh, wow, like Bob Marley type stuff?
It's all like old school, like reggae. Like it's, like Bob Marley and that whole sort of genre in there. And they play records. You can hear like the old records. I mean, it's really cool. Yeah, 2 hours.
Like that fizz. When you put the little vinyl on, you hear that fizz and crackle.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, so that's a lot of fun. So I have my alarm set. So every Saturday, if I can do it, listen 2 hours of reggae from Maine. It's great. Yeah, it's a great show. WRU. Yeah, you go check it out.
You ever do Sirius XM?
No, when I bought my car, I listened to it for like free for 2 months. I just never got into it.
They got a lot of good stations on there. The DJs are funny on there.
Yeah. Well, maybe I know they keep sending me stuff to re-sign up. Maybe I'll check it out.
It's not bad, dude. They got a bunch of stations.
You got it? You like it?
Oh, my roommate has it in her car. So, like, when we're in her car, I'll put on the Grateful Dead channel. She'll be like, "Why do you like the Dead?" And I'm like, "Because they're awesome. Shut up." Long live Jerry Garcia.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Have you seen Friends and Dead and Company?
I haven't. I'm like just now getting into being a Deadhead, I guess you could call it. My brother and my sister are huge Deadheads. Okay. They love the Dead, but I'm just now getting into it.
Yeah, I went to a bunch of shows. While Jerry was still around. I have been to Dead and Company. I heard they're good. I never got into Fish, though. A lot of people jump to Fish. I can't. I don't. Not that I don't like them. It's just not. It doesn't appeal to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I won't turn them off if they come on the radio or something. But
you gotta love jam bands if you listen to Fish.
Yeah, but it's a different. Well, it's a different. It's just a whole different sound. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's Fish.
Yeah.
It's different. Right, like you said.
Makes them valid.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. But good. I mean, what's his name? Trey? Yeah. I mean, he's killer.
Yeah. That's another band my brother loves. Fish.
Yeah. Who else is coming up? We talked about Marcus King, phenomenal. Billy Strings is coming up, and because there was like a little bit of a a lull of where some really new good musicians coming up, and those two guys are just blowing me away. You got Tedeschi Trucks are a little bit. They've been on the scene a little bit longer. And then I've been listening to this kid, Early James. Not a kid. I don't know if he's a kid or not. Whatever.
What does he do?
He's a guitarist.
Oh, okay.
I saw him. He opened for Marcus King back during COVID. We went to see, I think it was Morris, Connecticut. They had a really cool theater. It was like outdoors on this grassy hill. Anyway, so this dude gets up, and he starts, just him and his guitar. Interesting voice. Kind of folksy, country rocky, kind of interesting sort of genre he plays. And then he takes a break. And it was when everybody was like 6 feet apart. You had 6 foot squares, and then you would go. And so he goes and he takes a sip of this tall boy, this beer, and he looks at the beer. And he's like, Narragansett, what do you think? So I'm a Narragansett drinker. So I was like, yeah. Nobody else got it.
Oh, man.
I'm the only one screaming Gansett, and but that was cool. No, so that was fun. Yeah, he's Early James. He's a good dude.
You ever been to the Narragansett bar in Jamestown?
No, I have to go.
That is a fun place to be, man.
I'll have to check it out.
It's like the only place to be in Jamestown. They call it the Ganny for short.
Yeah.
Real cool place.
All right.
Huge
Jamestown.
stage. That's like, if you're in Jamestown and you're an artist, that's where you want to be playing.
Okay. All right.
They're always packed.
You play there?
No, it's super tough to get into because
Okay.
like they just book up like that. But
Okay.
we're trying still.
Yeah.
3 years in a
Keep
row,
trying.
still trying.
Well, let me know, man. I'll be there when you book
All right,
it,
dude.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah.
What's the farthest out you've played from Connecticut?
Tennessee.
No
I
kidding.
played in Nashville before.
You like it?
Nashville's awesome.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go there. Never been there.
So I mean, Broadway, like that's where all the honky tonks are. That's what you see on the internet. It's a cool spot. I thought about moving there, but I mean, there's a lot of politics involved with it, you know. So I'll tell you the story of how I got there. So pretty much, so the guys and I were like, let's go to Nashville and play for a week. So I got on the computer and I was just researching because I had never been there. I'm like, where do you play, you know? And then all the Broadway honky tonks came up and got in touch with this guy named Uncle John. And he had this organization called Honky Tonk School, which is great. That's like if you move to town and you want to play on Broadway, that's where you go. So he said, if you want to play our honky tonks, you got to audition. So I'm like, all right. So I booked a weekend out in Nashville, flew down there, went to audition. They held auditions on a Saturday afternoon in the back room at Tootsie's. And how those bars work, they're like three levels each, stage each level. And in the back room at Tootsie's is where they did the audition. So I got up with their house band, played 2 songs. I did Tennessee Whiskey and Freebird. And they were really into it. And they were like, come to Honky Tonk School on Monday. So I was like, all right. So Sunday, me and my buddies just partied our asses off. We were like, we're in Nashville. This is awesome, you know. Monday came around. I went to the school meeting at Monday. It was at Kid Rock, so I got to sing there. So I did that, and I had to leave to catch my flight. And I was like, so how does this work? I was like, do you book out-of-state bands? They were like, you can only play here if you live here. So I was like, all right. Could have said that in an email, but still a good time. But after that, I learned a lot about Broadway and how it works. I mean, it could be now. It's been a couple of years since I've been there. But when I was there, like, you go there and you play on Broadway. It's all cover tunes. You don't play your own stuff.
Okay.
4-hour sets, and everybody's playing, like, the same 200 songs. And that kind of turned me off about it. I was like, well, how are you different? And I had noticed that, too, because I tried to check out as many bars as I could, and that was one thing I noticed, that I was, like, hearing the same 3 or 4 songs, like, every bar I went to. You know, like, I can't tell you how many times I heard Goodbye Earl, like, back-to-back at each bar. Not that, I mean, it's a great song, but, you know, and I found out the pay wasn't that good either. Like, some of these bars, they're either going to pay you nothing, or they'll pay you, like, $50 a guy, and then you got to rely on tips. Yeah. You know, so that kind of, that turned me off. I'm like, you call yourself Music City, you know, nothing against Nashville. I love it. It's awesome. You know, and a lot of I'm friends with some people down there and they bust their asses. But, you know, when you're Music City and you have these huge influxes of people, you should be able to pay these people what they're worth. You know? Yeah. No, and a lot of these bands, they're fantastic. I mean, I don't see why each of these bands couldn't be pulling $1,000 or more. Because they work for it, every single dollar, you know. And these bars up here, you know, we're lucky enough to be getting $500 or more bucks a gig, but you can't get that in Music City. Yeah. So I thought long and hard, and You know, and I have a lawyer friend who told me, he was like, the best thing you can do is to start a buzz where you're at. You know, and these labels are going to care about your online numbers. Like the day of A&R reps coming to your shows, that doesn't happen anymore. They care about what you're pulling on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. So if you're a young musician watching this, keep that in mind. TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Bump those numbers up. Start a buzz, because then they'll come look for you.
How do you start? What are you doing to start the buzz on social?
Well, the key is content, which I'm sure you're familiar with. You know, the more you put out, the more people you're going to pull. So, I mean, we have just like one camera. It's a Rebel, you know, T35 or whatever. So we'll bring that to our shows and just set it up in front and just film everything. And then I'll get it home and I'll edit it and put it up on YouTube. So that's just kind of been the key now. And then post it. Like, I'm still figuring out TikTok. Yeah. Because when it first started, you know, blowing up, everybody was dancing, but I can't dance. So I'm like, what can I? So I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah, I'm not on. That's one thing I'm not on TikTok, Instagram, obviously, and Facebook and all that. But I don't do TikTok. What about the audio? Do you just like camera mic, or do you like record it? Do you record your shows?
So I mean, we've been lucky enough. Like, I don't know if it's just where we're setting it up, but the audio is pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, it's not bad for a camera.
Yeah, because I know I've recorded some live shows, and I'll plug in. So I'll do a mix, and it's okay. I'll set up like a recorder just to get the room sound. Yeah, and then I'll get a feed from the board, which is mixed for the live, but doesn't matter. I get a feed from that, and then sometimes if I sort of mix those two together and post, like it's, you know, I mean, it's not studio, obviously. Yeah. But, yeah, it works. Yeah, so sometimes you get lucky with if the mic's in the right spot. Yeah, you'll be able to get some good.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're finding, because we tried the whole doing the video and audio separate. Yeah. Like we got the feed from the board, and then we did the video from the camera. And I don't know, I didn't really like the first time we did it, the mix wasn't that good. Like, it was the room mix, it wasn't independent. Right. So, I mean, the mix, like, the footage was great, but the mix we had, like, the vocals were real loud and the instruments were real soft. Yeah. So it wasn't usable. And then we tried it again, and it was better that time, but there was just stuff about it that I just didn't like. Like, one guitar was way lower than the other. Right. And so, but now when we just take straight audio from the camera, it sounds the best.
Yeah, so and far. I think for what you're using it for, you know, quick clips on social and stuff. Yeah. That's I think that'll suffice for now. Yeah. But yeah, we should talk, man. I'll come in, get some gear.
Yeah, dude, I've been wanting to actually talk to you about doing more videos.
Record some stuff. We should do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did talk about a video a while back. It was that good. I met this guy. He does music, and I get emails from him at a church. Mm-hmm. Who's that guy? Have you ever played with it? What's your relationship with that guy?
I'm blanking on his name. Don't hate me. But I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, he has the barn. We were going to shoot something in the barn, and then whatever, things changed. It was all good. But then, yeah, so we swapped emails, and yeah, he produces these shows or works with these shows, and like in a church. I forget the town. I forget everything. That's all I remember because I've never been, but it sounds cool.
Yeah. Yeah, he's super all about music. And that barn was cool, too. I can't remember why. I think something just fell through or whatever. Yeah. But we got to put something together.
Yeah,
soon.
We should put something together. That was a cool venue. Yeah, I could see that working. Yeah, it was cold, too. It was like winter went out. It was freezing.
Yeah, it was like getting to be like January, and we were like, let's shoot a video, you know? Like,
yeah, it was stupid
New Englanders.
Yeah, it was stupid. But, yeah, we'll have to do it, whether it be live or staged or whatever. Yeah, it'll be cool. We'll have a good time doing that. What else? Anything else you got going on? Otherwise, I think it's been great having you on the show.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, dude.
Enjoyed catching up. Why don't you shout out a couple of shows that are coming up? This is probably going to be posted a couple weeks from now, so kind of think down the road. What do you got coming up?
I'm going to shamelessly pull my calendar.
That's all right, man.
That's cool.
Do it.
Like I said, we're really real lucky enough to be able to play as often as we do. So 2 weeks from now, what do you think? This will be out, by the 21st, you think? Or maybe a little after that?
Steph, what do you think? 21st? Yeah.
All right, so the 21st, we're doing Jerry's in Middletown at 7, right? Yep. And then the 22nd, we're playing at the Middletown Elks Club for their fundraiser dinner.
Nice.
It's also at 7 o'clock. June 28th, we're at Hot Rod Spotlight Lounge in Middletown. You ever been there?
No.
That's a real cool spot, dude.
Right.
Yeah, you got to come check that out. And then the 29th, we're at the Dublin in East Hampton, 7 o'clock.
Right on. All right,
man.
And people want to find that schedule online. Where do they go?
Oh, you can go to my website, themicklouisband.com, and scroll down. All our dates are most of that are updated pretty regularly.
MickLouisBand.com. Well, Mick, thanks. I appreciate it. And we'll do this again. We'll get together. We'll record some music, and I'll come check you out. One of those places. All right. Thanks.
Thanks for having me.
You got it, man. Thanks, everybody.
Bro. Thanks, guys.